Good evening, everybody. So I hope you guys are enjoying the emotion section that we have this week. And so as we're wrapping up the week and nearing an end, and next week we'll be starting a new section, I wanted to hop on and share a little bit about me and share my story with you. So we're going to talk about MTHFR and anxiety and how the two really are related. And I want to get on here and share this with you because I want you to know that you're not alone in this journey. Anxiety and depression are so prevalent, and it's really hard. It's hard to live with, and I get it. And I want you to know that there's hope and that you can change that. So I'm just going to share a little bit about me and my story with you, and I hope that today I can give somebody some hope. So I was born with MTHFR gene variants. Did you know that up to 80% of the population has this gene variant also? So I am not alone. There is a very good chance you have it too. And we are born with our genes. Like, that's just what it is. You know, genes are passed down from our parents. But what we do have is the power to turn those, or we don't have the power to turn them on, but they can be turned on by our things that are done. So even though I was born with MTHFR, it didn't have to be a gene that was turned on, but mine was. Genes are turned on by toxins, things in our environment, our diet, medications, chemicals. There's so many things that cause all these negative things cause these genes to switch on. We are surrounded and exposed to so many chemicals, more than ever before. We live in a very, very toxic world. And that's a problem for us with MTHFR. It's really a problem for everybody, but especially those with this gene variant, because we have such a hard time processing out toxins. So disturbed. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, so somebody without the gene variants, they, their body, their liver and stuff can process this with no problems. Still want to avoid it, still not good for you, but at least your body can excrete it. For us, it just builds up. And we have to give our bodies a lot of support to help the liver and stuff pull those toxins out and excrete them. So if we're not doing that, or we're putting toxins in our body, they just build up. Built up toxins in our body, not good, ever. So let's go back to me being born. I was a C-section baby because I was breech, and I was born on a military base, and they couldn't get me flipped and stay flipped, so I was a C-section. So instantly, right then, I didn't get the good gut bacteria that babies get from coming vaginally. I was also partially formula fed. My mom was not able to give me much detail in terms of how long or when I started, but I was formula fed to some degree. I had chronic ear infections, and I had chronic strep. I had tubes put in one ear, I don't know, 4 times. I had strep so many times I had my tonsils removed. But ultimately that led to being on antibiotics, literally what felt like all the time. We ate a moderately okay diet. I wouldn't say it was horrible, but it wasn't great. We didn't drink soda. we weren't allowed to drink like Kool-Aid and stuff like that or have sugary cereals, but we did eat processed foods. Even dinners that were cooked at home still involve processing things that like we don't eat. I mean, even my mom, like we don't eat anymore. We were really busy, so we ate out quite a bit. We probably should have bought stock in like Chick-fil-A or something because we ate a lot of Chick-fil-A. So in about high school, end of high school, early college, I started drinking diet soda. So there's that. In college, I started taking birth control because I have really horrible cycles, and so the birth control was my gynecologist's solution to solving that problem. And then in graduate school, for those that don't know me, very type A personality, very driven. I set very high expectations for myself. So graduate school was very challenging for me. And it led me to a lot of mental health issues. And I started seeing a therapist, and I wasn't cutting it. And so her solution was anti-anxiety meds. I was having panic attacks. I was a mess. I don't even know how to describe it, but I was literally a mess. But yeah, the panic attacks, I could barely breathe. I was just so tense and high-strung all the time that like relaxing like wasn't even in my vocabulary. People would tell me, you need to like relax, you need to take some time for yourself. And it would make me angry because I was like, I don't have time for that. Like, what do you not understand? Like, I can't do that. I have to study. We have this test, like whatever. So, anti-anxiety meds. So I was on anti-anxiety meds and birth control at the same time. I was still, we ate horrible in graduate school because we were poor. We had a $250 grocery budget per month. So we would go to Aldi and Sam's. This was before I knew about organic, and I don't think Aldi had really gone that organic yet. Like now you can find quite a few organic things at Aldi, but this was back. And we weren't buying that. We were buying the frozen pizzas, the French fries, and the frozen chicken nuggets. It just kills me to even say that. But we did, and we went to Sam's and bought what we could in bulk, because $250 doesn't go very far. We had to drive 45 minutes to get there so that we could shop at those places. But when we moved to Iowa, nothing changed. We still drive 45 minutes to the grocery store, but this time it's so that we can hit up the organic groceries, like Trader Joe's. So, diet was horrible. And it was just rough. My life was rough. Like, the anxiety was taking control of me, and I felt like there was literally nothing I could do about it. So, I get to Texas, and I move in with Liz and Charlie in their little guest house. It was my second internship for OT school, and so I was almost done. I was super excited about graduating. And I move in with them, and it's my first introduction to, let's just say, all things crunchy, because it wasn't even just oils. It wasn't just Young Living. That was the start, but that blossomed because I was just so curious. Like, the science just propelled me to want to know more. And so that led into eating organic, drinking raw milk, having a garden, and the importance of that, and just so many things. My world was just flipped 180 degrees. Like, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. So I started learning how toxic the stuff we were using was, and eating organic. So, I get my starter kit, and I start using the oils. But, you know, of course, I was still in OT school, so we were still poor. And so it was a slow transition, but it was one that I was determined to make happen. So we moved to Iowa, and we're getting settled in, and I get a job. And so that was when I was able to start switching everything to Young Living. And I was just like throwing stuff in the trash and switching everything, cleaning supplies, beauty products. We're going fully organic, eating grass-fed meat, and that's where we are today. That's how we live. While I was in Texas, I went off my anti-anxiety meds, cold turkey. Don't recommend it. Funny story. I went in to talk to Liz, and I was like, I'm feeling really dizzy and just not feeling right. And she was like, well, did you do something different? And I was like, well, I stopped taking my anti-anxiety meds. She was like, cold turkey? And I was like, yeah, I didn't want to take them anymore. And she was like, well, maybe should have weaned off. So don't just quit your drugs. And I was out of birth control. That monthly pack was done. And I was like, I'm not taking it anymore. I talked to my husband, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. We're gonna have to do this. And I learned natural family planning. Because I was like, I'm not gonna do these chemicals anymore. And so once I started this transition to cutting out the toxins and changing full circle my eating habits, I stopped drinking soda. If you need help stopping to drink soda, I used sparkling water, add some vitality oils, citrus, grapefruit and lime, whatever, to cut the habit. You've got to stop drinking soda. But that's a rabbit trail. So where was I? Okay, so I completely changed my eating, completely changed Young Living, away from the toxic stuff. I got so into this that I wouldn't even take ibuprofen or Tylenol. I was like, I will just deal with it. Periods came, I'll just suck it up. I'm not taking a Tylenol. That's where I got, and that's where I still am. Because I was like, I'm not putting anything. And this was even before I knew about MTHFR. This was literally just, that's a chemical, I'm not putting it in my body. So I noticed an immediate difference. I wasn't completely better. This has been a long journey for me, but I knew that there was a difference. I didn't need the anti-anxiety meds anymore. I was managing my stresses. I was coping like I had never coped before. There was no coping in OT school. It was all or nothing. It was not happening. So I removed those toxins, and my body was able to start healing itself. It took a long time to heal. I'm still healing. I'm not going to say that this was an overnight transition. So currently, I've changed it to everything to Young Living. I eat completely organic, grass-fed meat. Now that we're in Florida with my parents for a while my husband interns, we have access to raw milk. So I've started just adding a little bit of raw milk. I don't do a lot of dairy, but I do a little bit of raw milk, especially in my coffee. And I'm very picky about what I put in my body. I'm still learning and I'm still growing. I'm doing a lot of research into my liver and understanding just how intricate it is, and for me, what I can and cannot tolerate. So what I'm learning is that I have to be really careful how much alcohol I drink, and I haven't drank in months because my body does not handle it well. It really throws off. It throws off my liver, and it just can't handle it. So I just have to be really careful. But that's something that took me a while to figure out. It's one piece of the puzzle at a time. Again, this was a long process. It took me 26 years to get to this place where I was. 26 years of antibiotics. Before I went on birth control, I was maxing out ibuprofen and Tylenol every 2 hours. So I'd take the max dose for ibuprofen, 2 hours later I'd take the max dose for Tylenol, I'd take the max dose of ibuprofen, max dose of Tylenol to get through the first 2 or 3 days of my period. It was horrible. I can't even imagine what I was killing my liver and all my organs. So it's 26 years of that. And I'm at 3 years of cleaning up this mess. And I have come so far. And I'm so glad that I took the step, the leap that I needed to take to make the changes that needed to be made. It wasn't easy. It's, up front, it can be pricey. Eating organic and buying grass-fed meat and buying supplements from Young Living is not cheap, but it's so worth it. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's not like I second-guess myself, but, it's an investment that you have to take. Like, my quality of life is incredible compared to what it was. So it takes time to detox that many years worth of stuff and heal my gut. So emotionally, my emotional health is 110% better. I look better. I feel better. I feel better than I can even remember. I'm happier. My skin is clearer. I don't have anxiety at all. I have moments of stress. I get stressed. We all have stress. But a panic attack? No. Coping? Yes, I can cope. And honestly, the last year has been a really tough one in my life. So it's not like it's all been, roses and rainbows. It's been a tough year. And so, but my anxiety is still gone. I'm way better able to handle the stuff that life is throwing at me than I ever was before. So it starts with ditching the toxins. You've got to get that stuff out of your house, out of your life. You've got to be picky about what you put in your body. You've got to give your body a chance to heal and to work however it needs to work. Like, you can't control, how you were born. You can't control whether your parents decided to formula feed you or breastfeed you exclusively. You can't change how your parents fed you when you were 5, or whether you were on antibiotics. But you can choose now whether you are going to eat garbage or whether you're going to clean with bleach or Dawn dish soap or brush your teeth with fluoride-filled blue toothpaste. Like, you can make those choices. So you've got to give your body a chance to heal. You've got to give your gut a chance, and you have to just accept the body that you have at the moment, whether you have a gene variance or not. Accept it, take hold of it, and just do what you have to do to live the best life that you can live. And that best life does not include anxiety, does not include depression, doesn't include panic attacks. It doesn't include any of those mental health issues. So my health goal right now is to prepare an environment in my body that will allow me to carry babies that will be born with good gut health and do everything in my power to prevent this gene that I will pass down to my children from being turned on, so that they don't have to have the same struggles with toxin elimination that I have. And I, by golly, will educate them on the importance of living a toxin-free life, whether they have the gene variants or not. But I have that power to hopefully not turn that on in them. So you have that power too, to live without anxiety and depression. Remember, up to 80% of the population has this gene variant. It's not just me. And if I can do this, you can do this. Honestly, we should all live like we have this gene variant, ditch toxins and chemicals from our daily life, and aim to live as clean as possible. Like, I'm so passionate about you, and that's why I agreed to come on here and share my story with you. One that has been tough. It's been a tough journey, and again, like I said, I'm still on this journey, but I have a clear head. I can think about this stuff and not be riddled with anxiety and depression. I can get up in the morning happy and ready to go and rearing for the day, and have the capacity to make good choices for me and my family. And if you have any questions, if you want to talk, if you don't know where to start, if money's tight, I get it, I've been there, I'm there, I understand. So please message me, comment if you want, whatever. I do not mind talking to you about it. But that's me. So thank you guys so much for hopping on and watching this, and I hope that I bless at least one person in this, and that I can just help you through my story. And remember that you are not alone. There are so many people out there struggling with the same things, and you don't need to be. So let's heal your body and have a better future. All right, thanks guys. Have a wonderful afternoon and a great weekend. Bye.